Hello everybody, this is Skyflight44, aka Zect44, and today I'm going to be playing some more Lord of the Rings LCG in our custom campaign. Today, it's specifically the Hunt for Gollum. Don't know how many times I've tried doing this scenario, and never once has the scenario gone wrong. I've just had to stop it. I don't know how many times. But today we're gonna finish it. So, these are the cards that we will be unlocking by beating this scenario. However, because of the rules, we can go about using these cards in the scenario itself. So, we have Bilbo Baggins, Dunedain Mark, Campfire Tales, Winged Guardian, The Eagles Are Coming, Westfold Horsebreaker, Mustering the Rohirrim, Rivendell Minstrel, Strider's Path, and lastly, Song of Kings. We'll talk more about them, but, well, that's what my other series of videos on this series is for. These are all the cards that are not already in our decks. Because the decks have changed quite a bit since the last time we were playing. We have our questing deck, which comprises of Eowyn, Eleanor, and Aragorn. This is mainly a spirit deck, heavy on spirit, and has some leadership to it, mainly due to the fact that Aragorn can also be a spirit hero if he has a spirit resource icon if he has Calabrian Stone on him. The least changed of all of our decks will be the Tactics one, which only really has the Winged Guardian thrown into it, which is a very good defender, but that's the only thing that's changed there. Over here, we have Glorfindel, Barivor, and Denethor, so it's a mono lore deck, which is going to be something you're going to see the entire time. I may or may not remove or change out Glorfindel for later on for Bilbo, or I might actually go about throwing Denethor out for Bilbo. Depends on what I'm really thinking about. But upcoming for the next several scenarios, we're going to be running a mono lore deck. Over here, we have a true support deck with Thalin, Dunhir, and Theodred. This one can and probably will be doing or playing cheap allies and just playing the support game with a lot of cheap cards and specifically the very useful events that we can go about playing them. That's the main thing. So let's get on with setup. And again, since we're playing on Tabletop Simulator, a lot of that setup's already dealt with. So we're gonna shuffle all of our cards. You should be at 1. And let's draw hands. So the big thing we're gonna be... oh my god, this hand's amazing. The big thing that we're going to be seeing in this scenario is one really powerful enemy, or possibly a powerful enemy. And we can see multiple of these enemies. But the big thing is being location locked. So locations are the true enemy in this one. Out of everything, that means we're going to want cards that are going to deal with locations as quickly as possible. And the only one we really have outside of Snowboard Scout is the Northern Tracker. Considering we have 2 stand-in fights, I'm actually thinking just blocking with a Snowborn Scout. No, actually that wouldn't work. Be a stand-in fight puts the ally into play, so in theory they shouldn't get an on-play effect. Oh, no, that's probably fine. Either or, we can probably have some fun. So, a test of will, hasty stroke. Very nice. Steward of Gondor as well, very nice. Steward of Gondor, again, for its resources. Unexpected courage, for being able to get, or like, ready heroes. I'm gonna keep that hand. The only thing that can make it better is if there was a northern tracker in it. Now, this scenario is a bit more light on combat. There are enemies to fight, and there is one specific enemy that's in there like 5 or 6 times that gets stronger the more clues we have. Because of that, fighting is going to be... You're not going to be bombarded by like 7 enemies all at once. But you are going to need some power in order to deal with enemies. What I have now is not going to cut it. So let's redraw a hand. And this actually is pretty good. Beorn's a pretty good one, considering the fact that because of his high defense and HP, not to mention his high freaking attack, if you manage to actually get off his effect, that can completely win us a fight or two with Beorn alone. And Gandalf's also a good definitely a good card we can go about using. Probably the best thing though is Blade of Gondolin now that I think about it, just because we need, or we're gonna be location locked most likely. So we're gonna have to hopefully with something like Strider's Path, move. We're gonna have to see if we can move locations into the active location spot, get rid of them, travel to things, and then go through and use Legolas to kill things off. And hopefully place enough progress on the location to get rid of it. So, Blade of Gondolin, and probably another Blade of Gondolin somewhere else is going to be used. On the other hand, we're going to want Secret Paths here. Secret Paths and Radagast Cunning, so... This is actually pretty decent. The Force Snare can, if we really need to, completely blank out one of those enemies I was talking about, the Hunters from Mordor. So you attach this to them, they cannot attack. Which means you can leave them there. So the only problem is, if you're trying not to go through the encounter deck, then this would be a bad idea, because once you get to the combat phase, they are going to be given a shadow card, even if nobody plans on doing combat. And Radagast Cunning is another big one I would like to have, so I'm going to keep that. I would like Secret Paths, but Radagast Cunning can be worth more than anything else. So having another test of will is going to be very useful. Having Campfire Tales as well, very, very nice. The only thing I can think of would be, are we actually going to want Veteran Axe Hand? Swift Strike's decent, but Veteran Axe Hand doesn't really do much for us. The amount of attacking we would be doing is squarely from down here attacking into the staging area. And because of that, I don't really think we want to see anybody down this way. We don't have any defenders outside of maybe Aragorn defending. But I can't deny that these two are fantastic. So we'll keep the hand. Now for the sad part. We're gonna have to start the quest. The hunt begins. The hunt for Gollum. Gandalf has requested your assistance in the search for the elusive creature known as Gollum. Your search begins in the Anduin Valley between Mirkwood Forest and the Misty Mountains. Set up, reveal one card per player from the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. Okay, so I'll give it one last shuffle. There's one card in here that if you see on the very beginning of the game, during setup, it will screw you over. Hopefully we don't see it. Hunters from Mordor. Hopefully we do not see any clues. Eastern Crows. And unfortunately, they're going to surge. Signs of Gollum. It is a guarded object, therefore we're going to take the next... We're going to take the next counter card, slap it on it, with the Misty Mountain Goblins. That is 2. Note, Signs of Gollum does something to Hunters from Mordor. Hunters from Mordor gets +2 attack and +2 threat for each clue card in play. Oh, that's so wonderful. Oh, shit. Massing at night. That's the third one, right? What is the chances that the very next encounter card, and actually, the next 2 encounter cards are going to have one of the 2 bad treacheries that I do not want to see. I'm going to use Eleanor. Eleanor's effect, exhaust Eleanor to cancel the 1 revealed effects of a treachery card just revealed by the encounter deck. Then discard that card and replace it with the next card from the encounter deck. Okay, so gonna exhaust her to replace that one. This is now for the 3rd player. The West Bank. Okay. Lastly, Eastern Crows. Which surge? What is surge? You place another card into the staging area. Well, the old fort. X is the number of ally cards in play. That's actually pretty good. No ally cards, no threat. The Hunters for Mordor is what I'm looking at and thinking to myself, this isn't going to be fun. The hunt begins. The hunt for Gollum. You make your way along the banks of the Anduin River, a likely place for Gollum to find food. After the player's quest successfully, the first player looks at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, reveal and add one of those cards to the staging area, discard the other 2. Hopefully, with the amount of enemies that we have in here, we discard either Hunters from Mordor, or during shadow effects, we can go about getting rid of some Hunters from Mordor that way. Because dealing 1 damage to each hero with a clue card attached is kind of terrible, but that isn't too bad. We can still hasty stroke it, but the threat and the attack power that we have to deal with is not going to be worth it. So we're going to go to the resource phase. Everybody gains 1 resource. Everybody gains a card. Thing is, I'm also applying a revision of the rules, in that you can only play only 1 person can go about playing a card from the collection a turn, and also you can only play 1 card per turn. I mean, not per turn. In a game. So that is 4 chances. Okay, so let's actually get on with it. We can't do anything with Aragorn, and we're going to be saving everything else for the Test of Will and Hasty Stroke, so that's fine. Over here, we have Blade of Gondolin, which we're going to be using, adding it to Legolas. Again, Blade of Gondolin, if we're attacking an orc, gains 1 attack. After attached hero attacks and destroys an enemy, place 1 progress token on the current quest. Over here, we're going to be saving at least 1 for Radagast's Cunning, and probably Strider's Path, which means we can only really play Hanemarth River Song, and Hanemarth is unfortunately not going to be good enough for us. Over here, though, we can spend 1 resource for Campfire Tales, which gets us into another Campfire Tales. I guess I know what we're doing next turn. And outside of that, I don't believe we're going to be doing anything. So now we can go to the questing phase. And during the quest phase, we will commit characters to the quest, reveal 1 card per player, and then resolve the quest, with actions in between. So we will send Awen to the quest and Aragorn to the quest. If you remember correctly, it's based upon willpower, which is the sun icon. Therefore, we have 6 willpower. I'll also send Glowin for 2. Glorfindel, which will bring us to 11. Theodred and Thalon. Theodred has a response that allows him to place 1 resource onto a hero's resource pool that was committed to the quest. I'm probably going to be throwing it onto Awen. I could, considering exactly everything that's over here, place it onto Glowin, especially when Gandalf's in the is in here. I think I'm going to do that this time. So that is 13 willpower. In the staging area right now, we have 2, 0, so 5. This would be 7, and then this is 4 because of the clue card. So, 13 versus 11. This isn't going to be fun. Let's see what comes off. Old Wives' Tale. We locked out. I went about saying, hopefully, what is the chances that the next 2 cards were not going to be a bad treachery? We were 1 off. So, what does this card do? When revealed, discard 1 resource from each hero's resource pool. If able, exhaust any hero that could not discard a resource from its pool. What does that mean? Well, that means during the setup, if that comes off, nobody has resources, so everybody exhausts. Which, if you don't have Eleanor, means not gonna have a fun time. Outside of that, let's go through Test of Will this. I'm not allowing that to go through. False Lead. The first player chooses and shuffles a card with the printed clue trait back into the encounter deck. If there are no clue cards in play, False Lead gains Surge. So, this is going to go back into the encounter deck. And I don't know whether or not... I've never really understood whether or not Misty Mountain Goblins goes back into the encounter deck or into the discard pile. I'm going to go with the discard pile. But I've never really understood that. I've looked, and the official guides don't tell me anything, so we're just going to continue on. So the third one will be Pursued by Shadow. Each player raises his threat by 1 for each character he controls as not currently committed to a quest. Which means 1 here. This will be 2. This will be 2. And then this will be 1. Lastly, the East Bank. Okay, this isn't so bad. I'm going to spend a resource, use Strider's Path. After a location is revealed from the encounter deck, immediately travel to its location without resolving its travel effect. If another location is currently active, return it to the staging area. So, we go to the East Bank. It states, as when it's the active location, ally cards cost 1 additional matching resource to play from hand. So, that's fine. But since we have no allies in play, there's only really... Yeah, because this will be 2. That'll be another 2 and 3. It's only 7 versus our 13. So we can... We're going to be placing 3 progress onto the hunt begins with what we're doing right now. So if we go and deal with the enemy, if we go and deal with enemies, because I'm going to be going and traveling to the old fort after we beat this location. Because all we need is 2. In order to do it, if we kill something off with Legolas, we'll have 3 progress to place on to the active location and quest. Therefore, we can most likely, with 2, we just need to get up to 7 progress in the quest. And in order to do that, we're going to go and do... We're going to have to pitch a few cards. There's already going to be 3 taken up by this. We need 7, so we need another 4. Which is lucky, considering the fact that A1, we can just start moving cards. So, Lorien's Guide. It's supposed to go around this way, so we're going to go this way. Lorien Guide, we can go Son of Arnor. Miner of the Iron Hells. And from here, probably Veteran Axe Hand. I know I'm crazy. But, because of A1's ability to, each player can do this once per turn. You can discard a card from your hand and increase her willpower by 1 until the end of phase. So, her willpower is going to go up to 8, meaning that's going to be 17. We can go to quest resolution. So 17 versus 7 will be 10. 3 gets placed onto here. And then 7 gets placed onto the actual quest. The 3 here completes it. And therefore, it's gone. Now we can go to the travel phase. During travel phase, we can travel to 1 location. We're going to go about traveling to the Old Fort. Because I want to be able to play allies. From there, we can... From there, we can go and do what? Let's go to the encounter phase. Each player may optionally engage 1 enemy. So you're at 2 attack power right now. But you need at least 8 in order to die. Gimli has 2 attack power right now. Legolas has 3. I'm going to need another 2. Unless I throw a Gandalf out next turn. Which, considering what I have, I could probably do quite easily. Yeah, let's go to... Let's Let's bring you here. Bring you here. And we're going to bring you here. If only these Eastern Crows weren't going to actually attack, I would have just left them in here. So now we can go to the combat phase. Each of these enemies are going to gain 1 shadow card. Damn, the key for it's not working. So now we have to resolve each attack going from the first player onwards. I'm gonna have to do it. We're gonna take an undefended attack. And no repercussions for it. So because of that, there's 2 damage placed onto Gimli. And we can go on to the next one. Denethor is going to defend against this. And nothing. From here, we have another Eastern Crow. We're going to take an undefended attack. If you do not control at least 1 hero with a clue card attached, return this enemy to the staging area after his attack is resolved. Okay, so we get hit for 1. We'll place that onto Fallon. Well, isn't that lucky for me? Now we can go into the attacking portion. Gimli has 2 damage on him, therefore he's at 4 attack power. Legolas has 3 attack power. And we can attack Hunters from Mordor. He'll have 2 defense, therefore we take 2 away from the 7 we have. We have 5 damage we'll have place onto him. And unfortunately, nothing's going to come out of it unless we spend a resource to play Blade Mastery. Choose a character, Gimli. To the end of the phase, that character gets +1 attack and +1 defense, giving us the 8 we need in order to kill it off. Over here, Berivor can kill off Eastern Crows. After it's defeated, shuffle it back into the encounter deck. And then Dunhere can attack into the staging area, which means the Eastern Crows are just going to fall to Dunhere. And they also get shuffled into the encounter deck. I kind of messed up the trigger for Legolas taking this thing out. Would have been now. Shouldn't be much of a problem, but 2 will be placed onto the old fort, completing it, and then the 3rd one from the Blade of Gondolin will be placed onto The Hunt Begins. Completing it. A new terror abroad. The hunt for Gollum. The wood was full of rumor of them. Dreadful tales, even among birds and beasts. The woodmen said there was some new terror abroad. A ghost that drank blood. Rumors have led you to the eaves of Mirkwood Forest, where the woodmen whisper of a new terror in the night. At the beginning of the quest phase, the first player looks at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, reveal and add one of those cards to the staging area, discard the other. Also, I should have did this before, but we should have revealed 3. Reveal 3 and then choose 1. Yeah, I like that one. Discard the other 2. Oh, isn't that enjoyable? Yeah, we should have done that earlier. As a way of getting around it, we're not gonna go through and fight Misty Mountain Goblins just yet. Even though we would have had the opportunity for that. But so far, there's only 5 in the staging area. At the beginning of the quest phase, first player looks at the top 2 cards in the encounter deck, reveal and add one of those staging area, discard the other. That's going to be cool. Hopefully it doesn't screw us. We do not have any other actions we can take, so we're going to go to refresh phase, where everybody refreshes, and threat is increased. This is going better, even better than the last couple times I attempted this. Now we can go to resource phase. Okay, guard the citadel. Another Gandalf, which means I should probably use Gandalf. Northern Tracker. Oh, that is lovely. And there is a way we can get the Northern Tracker out. So we could technically, right now, use the Northern Tracker, as in discard it in order to increase Eowyn's willpower during this phase. Or, and actually, we can go through and use actions throughout committing characters to the quest, which means we can increase Eowyn's willpower during the quest phase, pitching Northern Tracker, and then using Stand and Fight to bring back the Northern Tracker, so that the Northern Tracker can be committed to the quest and start getting rid of these lands. All these locations suck. Oh. Everybody seems to have gotten their card. Don't know if I actually gave you your card. So I should have. Yeah, that would be the card. I was wondering whether or not I should have the Gladrum's Greeting. Okay, so from here we can go to planning phase. We can get a Guarded Citadel. From here, we're going to go about getting Henemarth River Song. And from here, we will get Campfire Tales. How is it that I went from Campfire Tales to Campfire Tales to Campfire Tales? That is unreal. Outside of that, we can go over here. Gonna use Steward of Gondor on Eowyn. Using it, increasing her resources by 2. Then we can play Unexpected Courage onto Aragorn. From there, we can go to questing phase. So, let's see. We're going to quest with you two for 3. We'll quest with you two for 4. I got a better idea. Let's just quest with Beravor for 5 instead of Henemarth River Song. That would be 3 here, 5 here, 8, 10, 16. Also, we're going to look at the top 2 cards. Evil Storm or Banks of the Anduin? Let's go with Evil Storm. So, Evil Storm, deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with a threat of 35 or higher. Nobody has 35 threat. So now with 16 against 5, we can see what's going to pop up. Hunters from Mordor. That is already an increase of 4. Goblin Town Scavengers. This is a very... This card isn't very annoying. At the same time, is it ever annoying? By the way, Thalen's going to deal damage to both of these. However, in our campaign, a card discarded because of the effects of an encounter card, which an enemy is, gets destroyed. Or placed in the destroy pile at the very least, which means I'm not dealing with this. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to use a test of will, blanking that out. Okay, so that was 2. This will be 3. Be just 1 that's increased and another 4. And then another 4. Not gonna lie, that is painful. I don't mind. I don't mind. This means there's nothing really to fear. Denethor can go about defending against 1. I can go about defending against 1 also with Aragorn after using Unexpected Courage to bring him back. And I don't really have another defender. Outside of the fact that Goblin Town Scavengers, I'm just gonna have to take somewhere. I'm most likely gonna, like, once again, take here, take some undefended damage, throw it onto Eleanor or Aragorn if need be, and then just killing it off. Or Betty, I'm probably not gonna do that. I'm just gonna... I'm gonna have to have... just gonna have to have somebody on the support side take this, then have done here attack and destroy it. So I'm thinking a little bit too ahead, but that's how the game's played. We need 2 more willpower. We will discard Northern Tracker, and we will discard Beorn. Okay, that will bring us to 2, which means we will successfully, even though it's a draw, we will successfully quest. Okay, so how are we going to deal with this? We got 5 enemies in play. The West Bank. Well, the West Bank is the active location attachment. Event cards cost 1 additional matching resource to play from hand. Yeah, I guess we have to do it. So we can optionally engage enemies. That'll be 1. Also, you 2 should have 1 damage on you. We'll take another Hunters from Mordor. We'll take you here. We'll take you here. So, that leaves just Hunters from Mordor. So, with the encounter phase done, let's go to combat phase. We're going to defend with Aragorn. Nothing happened, therefore we're going to be taking 2 damage. From here we can defend with Denethor. We'll take 1 damage. From here we'll take undefended attack. Nothing really happens. And from here we're going to defend with Eleanor. Our 2 defense will come to be far better than just good enough, hopefully. Move progress from the current quest, okay. But she takes no damage. Thus we can go through and fight. Gimli and Legolas will be 7 damage, with 7 attack power being needed for the 5 other damage. From here, we're not going to do anything. Done here can attack for 2 damage, killing it off. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do anything over here. So that's 2 enemies still in play. So let's get on. Let's use Hanumarth River Song first of all. We can, at this point in time, look at the top card of the deck. Okay, sign on Gollum. And then we can go to the refresh phase. Okay, so we are on the 3rd round. Everybody's going to gain resources. Northern Tracker again. Damn. From here, we'll gain Ever Vigilant. And then Song of Kings. Okay, I would have liked to have played Rivendell Minstrel in order to get that, but fine. Yeah, I don't really think I've played anything from my hand over here. Oh. So we can go to the planning phase. And we have some stuff to play. First of all, just gonna throw a forest snare onto the Hunters from Mordor. It will never be able to attack again. Doesn't matter how much in the way of attack power this thing's gonna have. Outside of that, I'm pretty sure I'll just go through and play a Rivendell Minstrel. When played, I can get a song from deck to hand. Which will be Song of Kings. Song of Kings goes to hand. Which is fine. From here, we can once again play Campfire Tales. Blade of Gondolin, so-so. Still don't really have anything I want to do. Over here, though, we can use Steward of Gondor, increasing up to 5. Using 4 of it with stand and fight to get back the northern tracker. And then I guess we'll play 2 for Wandering Took as well. Okay, over here we shall play... We shall play Veteran Axe Hand. And we can go about playing a Gondorian Spearman. So, let's go to questing. First things first, beginning quest phase, first player looks at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, reveal and add one of them to the staging area. Discard the other. So there's a clue, and there's Hunters from Mordor. Well, that wasn't very difficult, trying to figure out what we need to get rid of. So, it'll get this, Banks of the Anduin. That is an easy thing to get rid of. Okay. So, we will... First off, we're going to go through and start sending to quest. So Glorfindel and Rivendell Minstrel for 5. You 2 for 7, placing 1 more into Glorfindel. Then we can use Eowyn and Aragorn for another 6, bring them to 13, Northern Tracker. We'll bring it up to... Northern Tracker will bring it up to 7 over here as well. And over here, 2 on Glowin for 16. I'm going to sneak attack Gandalf in. Number 1, destroying you, which will free up you. And 2, going and using Gandalf as a quester as well. I'll actually get better. Yeah, we're gonna... Wait a second, I might go back on this idea. So after players quest successfully, the players may claim Signs of Gollum if there is no attached encounters. When claimed, attach Signs of Gollum to any hero committed to the quest. Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to get that now. Also, you should be gone. I've won about killing something for the progress. You should be gone. Oh well. Fortunately, that isn't too much of a problem. So we have 20 versus what's in here being 5? No, 7, because this is 6 right now. So, Ribbon and Galore. Increase it by 2. Gladden Fields. Increase it by 3. Creevine, Creevine, Eastern Crows go back in because they're defeated by Thalon. And 4, the Old Ford. Okay, that is not good whatsoever. 6, 7, 12. That's just straight up. That's 8 on that one card. Bringing it into parity. Is there any way I can deal with this so that I can go to... Is there any way I can deal with this? By the way, there should be progress on you and you alone. Okay, yeah, this is fine. So we have 20 versus 20. We need to use Radagast Cunning. Targeting Hunters from Mordor. That's going to decrease it by 6. Is there any way else I can do this? No, not really, so... At this point in time... Oh yeah, you're 6, so it's down to 14. We can just pitch 3 cards. So, Song of Kings. I think Westfold Horsebreak is probably the worst. And from here... Well, to be honest, Gladron's Greeting. Normally, it would be Longbeard Orc Slayer, but I have Sneak Attack in hand, so not going to be worried about that. Outside of that, that'll bring us up to 23. Thus, there's 9 here. Also, because we went through and successfully quested, we can attach this to somebody that was questing. Or at least a hero, so we're going to attach it to Eowyn. And now we can... Actually, now that I think about it, I know exactly what I'm going to have to do. So... We can go to travel. Gandalf goes back to hand because of sneak attack. And then we can discard Gandalf to increase Eowyn's willpower. It doesn't matter, but we want Gandalf in the discard pile. So now there's hunters from Mordor. We'll take them over here. So before that, we'll go to the Old Ford, and then we'll take in the encounter phase Hunters from Mordor. We go to combat. You get one, and you get one. That won't flip up. But this one will. So we're going to defend. We're going to have to defend with the Gondorian Spearmen or the Guard of the Citadel. Which should be 6. This gets killed off in the destroy pile. And that isn't going to flip whatsoever, but this one will. Remove all progress tokens from all Riverland locations. Okay, so... Banks of the Anduin no longer has progress. And again, Guard of the Citadel has been killed. The first character to be killed. How fitting. Okay. That's fine. What can we do now? Let's go and kill you off, I guess. Legolas and Gimli. That's the 7 we need. That should be all of the hunters from Mordor. So, we're going to be going and using Verivor to draw us cards. Over here specifically. Nothing good. Then we can go into refresh. And lastly, resource phase. Also, what was this? Oh, good. Goblin Town Scavengers. Glad you're out. So, what are we going to be getting today? Snowborn Scout. Yes. That's going to make this much easier. Faint. Wish I had that last turn. And Protector of Lorien. This just got much easier. So, let's see. Starting from here. Wish I had one more resource, but I don't. I will stand and fight, using 2 to bring back Garda's Citadel. I can pay 1 for Snowborn Scout. And I'll be on Gladden Fields. Also, we should have completed this when we killed off the enemy. So, on the trail, but at the western edge of Mirkwood, the trail turned away. It wandered off southwards and passed out of the Wood Elves' ken, and was lost. Any player who does not control a hero with at least 1 clue objective attached cannot commit characters to this quest. If there are ever no heroes with clue objectives attached in play, reset the quest deck to stage 2B. If the players defeat this stage, players have once again found a true sign of Golem's passing and won the game. Okay, so the big thing we're going to be doing is using Steward of Gondor here. Actually, do I have anything else over here? No, I do not. We'll be using Steward of Gondor here for another 4. Then we're going to be using everything for Stand and Fight, bringing back this Gandalf. Now, you can probably see exactly why I went about doing so from here instead of beforehand. From here, Gandalf can go through and just do something. Do we want to draw cards? Do we want to deal a bunch of damage? Well, let's just deal some damage. Why not? Now, Gandalf can be used to quest this turn. Instead of having, not being able to. So the big thing is, we can't use Eleanor, but we can use Eowyn, Aragorn, Gandalf, Northern Track, and Wandering Took to quest. So, from here, do we want to play anything? No, there's nothing important. And from here, yes. 100% yes, we are using Protector of Lorien on Aragorn. And then it's going to go to questing. This will be 4. This will be 10, 12. From 12 we have in here 6. And there should be 1 progress and everything because of Northern Tracker. So, let's see what we're going to be getting. Eastern Crows, and it gets shuffled back in. No, actually it doesn't. Shit, because Dallin is not actually questing. Which gets Eastern Crows. Which gets Old Wives' Tales. Okay. That's 2. Okay, I'll take this. We'll lose a bunch of resources, that's fine. Theodred goes... Actually, no, I'm not going to do this. Eleanor doesn't have any resources, so we might as well use her for this. But if I just get rid of my resources, I do not have to go and replace this card. Actually, why not? We'll just go about having her go, and everybody is going to lose resources. Because if it goes through, then we're not going to need to replace this card. And therefore, only 3 more are going to come out. Evil Storm. So, the only one who has anything like that is up here, which is lovely. Deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with a threat of 35 or higher. This is what I would like to have blocked. But I have no way of dealing this. Anamarth Riversong and the Rivendell Minstrel both are gone. So that was 2. Signs of Gollum. And Treacherous Fog. Each location and staging area gets +1 threat until the end of the phase. Then each player with a threat of 35 or higher chooses and discards 1 card from his hand. Oh, that sucks. And we're going to get rid of Lorien as well. Okay, that's fine. And then lastly, the Eves of Mirkwood. So these 3 are increased. And then the Eves of Mirkwood is another 2. Thus, how can we see if we can get up to 8? Because I want to get out of this now. Well, we can use Quick Strike. Exhaust a character you control to immediately declare it as an attacker against any eligible enemy target. Down here, you can attack into the staging area, and thus we can kill you off. And you get shuffled back in. Yeah, no, this is fine. This is fine. So we can discard Steward of Gondor, Ever Vigilant, Song of Kings, and Blade of Gondolin, increasing Eowyn's willpower by 4. Then all we need to do is discard Lorien Guide for Aragorn and Protector of Lorien. And that will give us 5. Then we can place 5 onto the quest. And from here, we can go to travel phase. I do not wish to travel. We can go into... Thank God. Another thing about thank God Eowyn never got hit, because if she got hit, then the clue would have went away. I just thought of that. It was like a nightmare just flashed before my eyes. But we don't want to travel, so we're going to go to the encounter phase. We can optionally engage you over here. Then we can go into combat phase, which you get 1, you get 1. And we will... We're going to defend with Glowin. Move 1 progress token from the current quest. Oh, I absolutely hate this so much. Fine. Fine. We're going to block it, and then we're going to attack and kill off with Legolas this terrible thing. So because progress went off, we are only going to get up to 7. So Berevor's just going to have to kill off hunters from... Oh yeah, after we successfully quested... Yeah. Yeah, so we can only place this onto Aragorn, unfortunately. Oh, this is so frustrating. There's a good thing that's going to happen because of this. But we're not going to be able to finish this off. There's only one good thing that's going to happen because of this. So, let's go to refresh. Sometimes I think to myself, why didn't I just pitch that other card? And resource step. Resource phase. Big problem is Gandalf is gone. We're not going to be able to use Gandalf this time. Good thing I got another stand and fight, though. That was kind of a part of my plan. Dwarven Tomb. Only you had resources, boy. Okay, so... we're going to pitch Northern Tracker. No, actually, we're going to wait until that. But we are going to be using 2 Northern Trackers over here. Yeah, that'll be fine. Over here... yeah, why bother using anything, to be honest? And then here, once again... really, why bother using anything? And lastly here, don't really need to do anything. So let's go to next phase, questing phase. We will stand and fight. Well, first off, we will use, because we can use actions throughout, we will pitch Northern Tracker to increase Eowyn's willpower. And then we will stand and fight, getting the Northern Tracker back. Then we shall use Eowyn, Aragorn, Northern Tracker, and Wandering Took. We place 2 progress on this, it goes away. Place 2 progress on this, it goes away completely. And then we can... This sadly won't go away yet. But the other thing is, Banks of the Anduin is going to go right on top, because once it leaves play, return it to the top of the encounter deck instead of placing it into the discard pile. Unless there's only 2 in here. So with what I have down here, I have 4, 6, only 9. However, one of these will be Banks of the Anduin, increasing it by 1. False Lead. The first player chooses and shuffles a card with the printed clue trait back into the encounter deck. Sure. That was 2, 3, Eves of Mirkwood. Another 2. And Signs of Gollum, bringing out Pursued by Shadow. Eleanor, take care of that. Actually, it's just Pursued by Shadow. I thought it was Evil Storm for a second. So we'll increase you by 5. Oh yeah, you should be gone. We'll increase you by 3. And then you by 5. And that, fortunately, is the last we're going to be dealing with cards. On the trail, we have 9 versus 5. This is going to go to 11. We have completed on the trail. The good thing is, because of Gladden Fields, the only good thing is we were able to basically deal with Gladden Fields, which gives us some victory points. Victory points gets us into the ability to get some of these cards back. So if we once again go into the notebook, we can see exactly what happens. So victory point costs are, for a cost of 0, 1, it costs 1 or 2, 2 costs a 3 or 4, 3, and for uniques, they cost an extra 1. So we have 3, and each of these cost 3 victory points. So who do we want? We're going to say Hanumarth River Song, I want back. Because of one specific thing later. Okay, so... We can get rid of you. Let me just go and put everything where it should be. Clean up a bit. We're going to be given 5 victory points for beating this. And that we can use to duplicate cards. But what do I actually want to duplicate is the big problem. I kind of want to get my Rivendell Minstrel back, to be honest. It is probably the best card. Okay, this is over here. It's the Northern Trackers that are yours. And what did I just put on top? Because unfortunately, it looks like you had just slightly too many cards. Oh yeah, that's right. I believe it was the veteran axe hand from over here. Yeah, it was. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go about doing. I'm gonna go and these two cards are gone for good. However, from everything else we can go through and get something. I'm gonna go and duplicate you. And no, let's actually think. Is there anything else we could do? Out of any of the new cards, is there anyone that I want to duplicate with the two remaining I have? Yeah, there is one. Let's duplicate Winged Guardian. So, in the end of the day, we went about losing two cards, and they're gone for good. However, we managed to duplicate one of them back, and we do still have these cards, which are now ours for good. So we're not really doing all that bad. Since we have a few more cards, next time we are going to be doing the conflict at the Carrack. And that one, we're going to be getting some really good cards, and you're definitely going to be seeing some of our heroes changing. Because no way am I going to be not having Frodo in that one. So, have a nice day, everybody.